I'm Erika Burnett, and I serve as the program manager for The Village. The Village is a very intentionally curated space for Black leaders of nonprofit organizations or impact-driven organizations in Davidson County, as well as organizations that primarily serve residents of our county who are also Black identifying. The genesis of the work of The Village really birthed from two amazing thought leaders, champions, professionals in our community, Ron Johnson and Dawn Stone. And both within different positions, one within a nonprofit and one within our government entity, we're able to identify that there was a common gap. There were resources that were available, and there were organizations and individuals who were maybe doing work within community, but who were under-resourced. And so the legacy and the impact of The Village is really holding space in between. How do we resource? How do we increase capacity? How do we create community and belonging? And how do we position these individual leaders as well as the organizations that they serve and that are a part of for long-term success, for deepening impact, for really pulling back the layers to the complexities of the nonprofit industrial complex. When we think about populations that have been served and those individuals who have led the organizations that are serving populations, how do we close the gap when it comes to identity and representation and the resourcing that comes along with sustainability and increasing skills and access? The strength of the Village is absolutely our individual Village members. We are a collective, and we intentionally lean into the notion that we all have expertise to bring to the table. Sometimes a lot of times our resourcing happens internally to the Village. And so when I think about our strengths, it's the notion that we are stronger, our whole is stronger because of our individual parts that we bring to the table, our lived experience, our professional expertise, the context in which we've been able to do the work, especially in this city over long periods of time. We're able to excavate those tenets of sustainability, of community, of belonging, and really make sure that we are equipping and resourcing one another as absolutely a strength. Another strength of ours is being willing to name the really difficult things, being unapologetic about our commitment to Black leaders, about our commitment to our community members that have been historically marginalized, underserved, under-resourced, and being willing to name that this village is really in pursuit of bridging that gap. This village is really in pursuit of naming some of the undercurrents that occur within our funding models, within philanthropy, within our service delivery model, and trying to right-size that. Being willing to acknowledge that this is how the system is built, this is how the system operates, and how do we make room for what is possible? How do we expand our own impact? How do we move beyond what has been in service of what we know can be better for and on behalf of the communities that we serve? The Village is now in its third year of operation, and over the course of these years, there's been lots of ebb and flow. Organizations have expanded and contracted. We have seen that the Village has been housed in a couple different locations now here at the Community Foundation. And so what we have been able to see true about our community is that we're resilient, and that change will continue to occur within the context of our work. But the way that we choose to execute, the way that we choose to have impact can remain steady. We've also seen a growth in our membership base. We are over 400 organizations strong and nearing about 1,000 individual members that cross sectors, both in the nonprofit space, in the government space, and then in our private sector. We have a number of businesses that are deeply committed to the work and the vision of the Village that are actively engaging with us and with our work as well. What we're looking forward to is becoming laser focused on our mission and vision and understanding what our true theory of change is around impact. We can't be everything to everyone, but we know that there is a very specific need and that the Village has been entrusted to execute and implement in service of that need. And so we will continue to resource, we will continue to train. We are loving the opportunities to think about what collaboration looks like in our city. We're diving into learning cohorts so that the individual village leaders can get really, really super specific about their skills that they want to refine and the way they want to evolve and develop in spaces. We are exploring what does it mean to look outside of our city for examples and engage with our brothers and sisters in Memphis who are doing work in community in different and innovative ways. And I think most importantly, we are thinking about what our systems level change looks like from an individual level and then sort of rippling out. If we invest in leaders and we deepen the impact of organizations, what does that look like across our community? The village is in a really interesting and dynamic place in its lineage right now. We are gearing up for an exciting 2024. Historically, if you go to our website, there's only one landing page, you fill out information, and then you're added to our weekly calls. In 2024, we're looking forward to identifying ways that you can partner with the village on the front end, how you can be an ally for the village. And so we are encouraging folks to stay connected to us on our website, nashvillevillage.org. Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee keeps all of our press-worthy information up to date on their website as well. But I think most importantly, if you know a 501c3 here in Nashville that is led by a leader who identifies as Black or primarily services populations that to identify as Black, send them our way. We want to get to know them. We want to understand them. Even if the village isn't necessarily their happy place or their sweet spot, we want to know what's happening in their world, what's important to them, and then also how we can be a resource and how other organizations within the village can turn to them for resourcing and collaboration when necessary. So whether you're a business owner or a consultant, if you're a nonprofit, or just a community member really interested in figuring out what's the best way to amplify these important voices in our community, we would love for you to connect with the village.